I've had the S24 Ultra for a week now, and here is the good and the bad. I think you guys are going to find this interesting because this phone might look the same as the previous two, but it's different.
Same, but different.
So let's go ahead and start with the video. Now, the first great thing about this phone is the display. This is so much above and beyond. Samsung should be marketing this like everywhere. The display on this phone is on another level. I've been testing out the cameras out on this phone, which means a lot of my usage came from outside in direct sunlight, and this display just doesn't care. It goes up to 2600 nits of brightness, which is already 600 nits higher than the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I can definitely notice this. As an owner of both the phones, I can confirm that the iPhone 15 Pro Max, as good as that display is, it just pales in comparison to the S24 Ultra. But that's just part of the story. Yeah, the S24 Ultra is crazy bright, but it's also amazing because it's anti-reflective. I'm not sure why Samsung glossed over this so quickly during the presentation. I mean, this is a massive deal and it's something that everyone is going to notice. I mean, I can just imagine if Apple did an anti-reflective display on their iPhone, they would probably make a 20-minute presentation out of it, but Samsung was just like, yeah, here's a great new display, 2600 nits of brightness. Oh, by the way, it's anti-reflective, but never mind that. And then they just moved on. I'm like, huh? Like, they talked so shortly about it, I didn't even think it was going to be a big deal. But then when I unboxed the phone, I looked at it, I'm like, wow, this is huge. It's amazing for those moments when you're watching TV, you're scrolling through TikTok, or doing literally anything. You're going to notice this. Like, it is impossible to not notice this every single time you use your phone. And also, by the way, if you're a fan of using dark mode, you might notice sometimes that dark mode might get a little bit annoying because, yeah, it makes the battery last longer and arguably it looks better, but also you're introducing a lot of reflections from the trees outside, from the sky, from the sun, from the clouds. You can see all of that because your screen is obviously in dark mode. But because of the anti-reflective properties of the actual display, using dark mode outside, you barely see any reflections. It is absolutely wild. And another thing I must mention, you have about like 5 or 6 days left to pre-order this phone to get like the best deals possible. Samsung is giving you like up to $750 of trading credit. You get $150 to spend on cases, accessories, everything else. You also get a free storage upgrade. You get a massive discount on Samsung Care Plus. You have all those goodies, and they do go away soon. So if you guys are interested, I'm gonna have a link down below for you guys to check it out. Another great thing about the S24 Ultra for my week of using it is the performance. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is an absolute powerhouse of a chip, and using this phone clearly shows it. It absolutely rips through anything that you put it through. Gaming, AI, it just doesn't matter. The phone does not care at all because you see, this is not just any ordinary Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It is, of course, the Samsung version made for Galaxy Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. So technically speaking, this is the most powerful Android phone in the market. I mean, right? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. I think so, because if we're looking at any Geekbench score, any GPU test, this phone comes out on top. Also, I have to say, One UI 6.1, Samsung, thank you. This is like a beautiful upgrade. It's very much needed. And I also like how you can see the lock screen, the wallpaper. You can kind of see it right now. Kinda. I just have a dark wallpaper. But you can see the wallpaper on your lock screen similar to the iPhone. I love this. I leave it on. It's just, it's something new. You know, with Android, we've seen like dark, always on displays for like decades now. So it's nice to see a little bit of color on your always on display. So that's also another awesome thing. See, here's the thing. People say, oh, Samsung copies Apple, Apple copies Samsung. Who cares who copies who? I don't care who copies who, because in the end, we win. It's better for us consumers. So hey, companies, please copy more. I love it. Now, as far as battery life goes, I'm getting around the same as I was with my S23 Ultra, but do keep in mind, which by the way is around 7 hours of screen on time, give or take. But again, keep in mind, for the past couple days, I've been testing out the camera a lot, and that obviously takes up a lot of battery. The phone's also brighter than the S23 Ultra, and I'm using that always on display wallpaper. So all that takes up battery life. Oh, and by the way, my dark mode is set to scheduled, so for half the day, it is in light mode. And I'm getting around the same battery life as I was on my S23 Ultra, which obviously did not have the wallpaper setting. It didn't have the crazy brightness. And by the way, I was using it exclusively on dark mode. So This phone is technically getting better battery life because I'm using all the features that I turned off on my S23 Ultra to save battery. Am I talking too fast? I feel like I am. I guess what I'm trying to say is battery life, win. If you guys are enjoying the video so far, definitely leave that like. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying it, and it lets me know to continue doing what I'm doing. And if you are new here, consider subscribing because I got the S24 and the S24 Plus on the way. They should be here whenever Samsung feels like they're going to ship it out. I've been waiting. It says pending, so who knows? The build quality and feel of this phone is also what I would like to categorize as good. Now, yeah, this phone does look the same as the previous one, and the previous one looked the same as the other previous one. But I feel like this is a refinement. This is good. I don't want phones to change their looks every single year because it kind of ruins the brand image. So instead, what Samsung did is kind of do what everyone was asking them to do, and that is to make a flat display, which is good for the S Pen. It's good for screen protectors. It's good for durability. It's just good overall. It may not look as futuristic as a curved display, but I mean, so what? That's just one of the things that make curved displays good, I guess, is just it looks better, maybe? I don't know. But I definitely prefer a flat display. It just makes so much more sense on a phone with a stylus. And also, you cannot forget the borders are now titanium. They're flatter. It's just better to hold overall. You don't feel like the phone's gonna slip out of your hand and hit a brick wall and explode. God, I hate when that happens. Moving on to the cameras, they are also categorized as good on the S24 Ultra. Taking videos on the phone just feels confident. The camera switching while recording in 4K 60 is smoother than before and more steady than before. Seriously, this shot here when I was walking and I was zooming in 10 times, the phone just keeps a steady image while retaining as much quality as possible. Photos are also fantastic, and the portrait mode shots are crazy good with amazing level of detail, and background separation is just spot on. This might be, it just might be, my favorite phone to take portrait mode shots on. It is just crazy good. Also, let's not forget Super HDR, which makes the photos absolutely pop, and they even upload in Super HDR to Instagram. Now that's cool. So now that I've mentioned the good things about the phone during my week of using it, let's also talk about the bad things because no phone is perfect. Now, for one, I do wish the charging speeds were increased a little bit. It seems like we've been stuck at 45 watts since like the Note 10, I believe. I'm not sure, but I believe the Note 10 started the whole 45 watt trend with Samsung. It's still here. Now look, 45 watts on other phones might be okay, but those other phones also have less than 5,000 milliamp hour of battery, and this phone does have 5K. So that means charging times have not been increased. You're still going to see 0 to 65% in around 30 minutes, which is good enough. Now, the only saving grace is that the battery life of this phone is really good, so you may not need that extra fast charging, but a good feature isn't only a good feature if you constantly use it. Faster charging might only be helpful for those like rare instances where maybe you forget to charge your phone overnight, or you come home from work and then you spontaneously want to go out with your friends and you want to really quickly top off your phone with battery. And in those instances, you're sure going to love that extra fast charging. So again, a good feature isn't only a good feature if you use it constantly. Sometimes the best features are the ones that when you first use them, you're like, oh my God, I didn't know this could do that. That's awesome. Another kind of downside is that the AI features of the Galaxy S24 Ultra and actually all S24 models, they are free only up until the end of 2025. How much they will cost after that period ends, we don't know. What AI features specifically are going to be paid for, we don't know. I can only assume that I think the only features that are going to be paid for are the ones that use Google services such as Circle to search, which by the way is a really great feature. But I think all the on-device features, the AI features, they're not going to be paid for. They're going to be obviously free. Now, how much it will cost? Like I said, we just don't know. In fact, literally no one knows, so anything you hear online is fake. Now, I can only assume that's probably going to be like $299 a month because honestly, even all the AI features that use Google's servers, there's only a few of them, or like maybe, probably a few of them. And I can't see those few features being more than like $3 a month. Again, I'm just speculating. I have no idea. They might scrap the whole thing and make it free. We just don't know anything, but as of right now, I guess that could be labeled as a potential like downside of this phone. So aside from those two things, I cannot really find a downside about this phone. I mean, I would really have to nitpick, and even then I don't know what I would nitpick about. I mean, the phone functions amazing. Software, well, it's Android. You can do whatever you want. If you don't like the way the icons look, you can change it. If you don't like the skin, you can download a second skin or even a third skin and switch between the skins in any day of the week that you feel like. Hardware-wise, I mean, this phone is a brick. It is a solid brick. Beautiful premium materials, great camera quality, great battery life. I mean, I don't know what bad thing to say about it, honestly. You just can't go wrong with this phone. It is the best of the best from Samsung. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, I would definitely appreciate you leaving me a like. Again, don't forget about all those Samsung deals I have linked down below. Like I said, you have about less than a week to use those deals if you want. And if you are new here and you like these types of videos, you want to see more videos on the S24 and S24 Plus, and again, of course, the S24 Ultra, definitely subscribe. And as always, this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.